Worst of 2020, real fast. I'll just plow through it. 10, The Wolves That Live in Skin and Space by Danny Wilde and Christopher Zeischeg. Number 9, The Blue Rat by Michael Hartnett. 8, Ration by Cody Luff. 7, Lovelorn by John Athan. 6, The Last Word by Timothy Moonlight. 5, Clouders by Vanessa Morgan. Actually, really good story, but she gets her mythology like so wrong that it could only be misinformation. She could. There's no way she could have done it intentionally. What she messed up on mythology-wise in this Clouders by Vanessa Morgan. Luciferin by J. Peter W., but he redeemed himself at the end with In the Woods Monsters Happen. 3, The Imagined Homecoming of Icarus Isakov by Steve Wiley, which I was digging at first but hated by the end. 2, Leonard and Hungry Paul by Ronan Hessian. The synopsis got me all hyped up about this one, but by the time I got my hands on it, I'm like, that was it. That nothing in the synopsis, came across in the actual book. And number 1, it's with some regret that I have to say it, but Into Darkness by Terry Goodkind, because I read a lot of Terry Goodkind in high school. The sword and sorcery, somewhat like less educated version of Game of Thrones type fantasy series. And I did not know that Terry Goodkind had died, in August of last year. But Into Darkness is his worst one. If that's what he was going to close out his career on, that's a real shame. It's basically Lord Rawl goes to Mars, and it's medieval times. It's totally beneath even Goodkind's style of writing that his main character in medieval times went to a Mars-like setting through a portal. Oh God. Oh God. What a horrible way to exit this world. I'm sorry, Terry, but that's got to be number 1. Yeah. Whatever. It's the worst of 2020.
Hey, can I ask you, Jeremy, with John's book, Lovelorn? I haven't read that one yet, but I read Lovesick, and I really enjoyed Lovesick a lot. I don't know if you. What didn't you like about Lovelorn? Just out of curiosity.
Okay, it's about this incel basically, right? Who's always picked on and doesn't have any, gets made fun of by both women and big dumb jocks, and it's so like by the numbers, like a boilerplate, obvious. There's nothing new about it. But also, I think that in the second half, when it tries to tap into a sort of semi-conservative, rage, he gets all of that conservative rage wrong. What young angry conservatives are actually angry about, he gets it wrong and makes them look. He misrepresents them, and it's all very stereotypical instead of archetypal. Does that make sense?
I gotcha. Yeah.
It's like if someone from the left wrote a book trying to understand, an edgelord on the internet and totally, getting it totally wrong. That was my problem with it. I don't know what John Athan's, views are. I usually like some of his stuff, even though he can be really brutal, with his violence. But Lovelorn in particular, I felt like it was tone deaf, for what he was going for.
Gotcha.
That's what I thought. Do you know John personally? Or?
Yeah. John's. I don't know him like super well, but he's an awesome dude. I've only read his one book so far, though. But we may actually be working on something, like a little bit of a project. So I think that's going to be cool.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Sorority.
We've been in talks about doing something. Actually, probably should have brought it up on the short story part, but I've been wanting. One of my goals was to collaborate this year, and so I pitched a project to Jasper Bark and to John, and to see if they would be interested in doing this collection called Beyond Reform, where it's kind of just centered around. It's a very loose concept because I wanted to make sure that you'd be able to be very creative in it. But the concept is like we want to have like one character in the short stories that is beyond reform, and that's pretty much it. Like the story can kind of go anywhere from there. So we're kind of doing it in the works of an extreme collection. And I think it's going to be pretty fun. It's my first collab, so it's
cool.
It's a new experience for me, but I'm looking forward to it.
Jasper Bark of Crystal Lake Publishing, we had him on recently too. Cool guy, like what he's doing, and apparently he's doing it. He's doing the publishing thing. If I remember correctly, he said he was doing it. He was paying authors. They were paying authors by the correct scale of how authors are supposed to be paid. Do you remember that, Ben? Is that right?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So I don't see Brian Keene ever calling Crystal Lake out if they keep up with that business model.
Yeah, he's just a nice dude too. And that was one thing I wanted to do was like just find a couple people that I enjoyed their work. I had at least read something by each of them that I liked. And with John, it was Lovesick. And with Jasper, I read Stuck on You and Other Prime Cuts, and I really liked that. And then he kind of showed his penchant for short storytelling in it. But yeah, they're just like really humble, and I'm just honored that they'd kind of accept the proposal. But
yeah, I think the best thing I've read from John Nathan so far would be either Dr. Sadist or Cannibal Jungle, something like that.
Yeah, I've got a copy of Cannibal Jungle I've got to get to soon. I'm really excited to read it finally.
I think it's slightly better than Dr. Sadist. Dr. Sadist is another one that's like unnecessarily mean, I think. But I liked it anyway. I don't care. So.
Yeah, I have a copy of Do Not Disturb. I just haven't had a chance to read it yet, but I heard good things. That's like a pretty fun slasher. And I saw he was also promoting upcoming. It looks like the Legend of the Slit-Faced Woman that kind of has the slit all the way across her face. And the premise sounded really cool for that. And I always thought that legend, was pretty dope anyway. And but he kind of has his own twist on it, and that I'll probably read that one, I think. But.
Let's see. Do Not Disturb is the one with the clowns, right?
Yes.
Okay, I read that one too, and he didn't. I was expecting him to bring something newer to the table with that concept too, and I felt like he didn't. But that one was, I forgave him for that one because it was, it kept me reading. It was readable. It was really readable. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel every time, but don't get bogged down in making the exact same story choices that everyone else ever has with that topic.